The stars looked calm that night. 1,000 tiny lights shimmered above the blue planet called Earth. No one could have guessed that within a few years, those stars would burn with war. In the quiet orbit above Earth, a huge station floated, the Sentinel Array. It was built to listen, to catch whispers from the deep space. Every night, the antenna rotated, searching for signs of life beyond the solar system. 4 years, there was silence. Just static, just the cold voice of the universe. Then one night, the silence broke. Lieutenant Arya Cole was on night duty. She was tired, sipping cold coffee, watching the monitors. The signals looked normal, until one screen blinked red. "Unidentified transmission," said the AI voice. Arya frowned. "That can't be right," she whispered. She typed commands, trying to locate the source. The signal was old, ancient even. It wasn't random noise, it was a message. A message from far beyond the Milky Way. Her fingers trembled as she decoded it. The message was short. Only 5 words appeared on the screen. "They are coming. Hide fast." She felt a chill crawl down her spine. Who was coming? Who sent this message? And why did it sound like a warning? Within hours, Earth's governments were alerted. Scientists, military generals, and even historians gathered in panic. They tried to trace the signal's origin, but the data kept shifting, like something, or someone, was trying to block the trail. 4 months. Nothing happened. People slowly forgot. News channels moved on. But the leaders did not forget. The United Earth Defense Command began secret preparations. They built fleets, trained soldiers, and sent probes into the dark. Humanity did not know what was waiting, but they were not going to wait helplessly. Then, 1 year later, something appeared. At the edge of the solar system, beyond Neptune, telescopes saw them. Hundreds of ships, black as shadow, moving in silence. No heat signatures. No radio noise. Just darkness. They were not human. The alien fleet moved like predators. Their ships were smooth, organic, almost alive. And they were massive. Bigger than any ship Earth had ever made. In the Galactic Union, a council of hundreds of alien civilizations, news spread fast. The humans were being attacked. The Union watched from a distance. They had seen this before, the Zeroth swarm, destroyers of worlds. Entire planets had burned before them. No one survived their arrival. But the humans were different. They didn't run. General Marcus Hale, commander of Earth's defense, stood before a giant holomap of the solar system. Around him, officers worked in silence. The tension was thick. "Sir," said one officer, "the enemy fleet has crossed Neptune's orbit. In 6 hours, they'll reach Saturn." Marcus didn't blink. "Then we meet them halfway." "Sir? You mean?" "I mean we take the fight to them." It was madness. The aliens were stronger, faster, older. But humans had something no alien race understood: desperation, creativity, and the will to fight even when the odds were impossible. The first battle began near Saturn's rings. Thousands of ships, human and alien, clashed in a storm of fire and metal. Explosions painted the dark void. The ISS Titan led the charge, its railguns lighting up space like thunder. "Fire all batteries," shouted Captain Ramirez. "Don't let them break the line." Human ships were smaller, but faster. They used tricks, decoys, mines, hidden drones. The aliens fought like machines, predictable and cold. Humans fought like cornered animals. For every ship lost, 2 alien crafts went down. The battle lasted 3 days. Saturn's rings turned red with debris. The Galactic Union watched in silence. They had seen many species fall before the swarm, but none had ever fought like this. On the 4th day, the humans unleashed something new: Project Helios. A massive solar cannon, hidden near Mercury, charged its power directly from the sun. When it fired, a beam of pure energy cut through space, slicing through the alien mothership like a knife through glass. The explosion was so bright that it could be seen from Earth. For the first time in history, the swarm retreated. But victory came with a price. Millions of humans were dead. Cities burned. Fleets shattered. Yet, in every broken city, in every damaged ship, the same words echoed. "We are not done yet." From across the galaxy, alien watchers trembled. The Galactic Union began to whisper among themselves. "If the swarm fears them," said one alien elder, "then maybe humanity is far more dangerous than we believed." But they didn't know the truth. The message that started it all, "They are coming. Hide fast," had not been sent by an alien. It had been sent by something else. Something human. And it was still out there, watching. The war was not over. It had only just begun. After the Battle of Saturn, the solar system was quiet. Too quiet. The alien fleet had vanished into the dark, leaving behind ruins and wreckage. Human engineers worked day and night to rebuild. Every shipyard in orbit was alive with fire and noise. But even as they repaired their walls, people could feel it. The storm was coming back. General Marcus Hale stood at the observation deck of the Luna Command Base. The Earth floated below, half-lit, beautiful and fragile. He had won a battle, but he didn't feel like a victor. His hands were shaking. He thought about the message, "They are coming. Hide fast." He had read it 1,000 times. Every time he saw those words, a strange feeling grew in his chest. It wasn't fear. It was something colder. "Sir," said Commander Arya Cole, walking in quietly. "We've finished decoding the full signal." Marcus turned. "Full signal? You mean there's more?" Arya nodded. "Yes, sir. The original message wasn't complete. The transmission was split into fragments. Our AI finally combined them." Marcus frowned. "Show me." Arya placed a small holochip on the table. The lights dimmed. A 3D projection appeared, static at first, then a shadowy figure formed. It was a human face. Pale. Tired. Eyes filled with fear. "My name is Dr. Elias Ward," the voice said, breaking with static. "If you are hearing this, they've found you. The swarm is coming. This is not the first time." Marcus and Arya froze. "Not the first time," Arya whispered. The hologram continued. "We fought them before. Long ago. We lost. But some of us escaped. Through time." The recording glitched and ended. For a moment, neither of them spoke. "Through time," Marcus repeated slowly. "You think this is real?" Arya didn't answer. Her eyes were locked on the fading image. "Sir, the transmission's age. It's at least 100,000 years old." "That's impossible," Marcus said. "Humans didn't exist back then." Arya looked up. "Maybe we did. Just not like this." On the far side of Mars, deep underground, a secret research team began digging at an ancient site. They had detected strange metal under the red soil, something not natural. When the dust cleared, they found it, a massive circular door, buried in stone. The scientists called it the vault. Its surface was smooth, black like obsidian, humming softly as if alive. Strange human-like symbols were carved around it, but no one could read them. Dr. Lin Wei, the lead archaeologist, touched the surface carefully. The symbols glowed faint blue. The vault responded to her presence. "It's scanning us," she said, stepping back. "It knows we're here." Before anyone could stop it, the door began to open. A cold wind rushed out, air that hadn't moved in millennia. Inside the vault, they found a chamber filled with machines, old but still active. In the center stood a large capsule, transparent and glowing. Inside it was a human. A man, asleep, perfectly preserved. The room fell silent. Dr. Lin whispered, "That's impossible." They brought the capsule to orbit for analysis. The man was alive, his heart beating slowly, his brain active. DNA tests confirmed it. He was human. But not from this time. His genetic code was ancient, older than any known civilization. When he finally woke up, he opened his eyes slowly, confused by the bright lights around him. "Where am I?" he asked weakly. "You're safe," said Dr. Lin gently. "You're on the ISS Horizon, year 2487. He looked around, breathing hard. "Then it's too late," he said. "You woke me too soon." "What do you mean?" she asked. "The swarm," he whispered. "They don't just destroy worlds. They hunt timelines." Dr. Lin felt her stomach drop. "Timelines? You mean?" "They follow us across time," the man said. "We tried to stop them once. We failed. So we sent a warning to our future selves. To you." He looked into her eyes. "We are the survivors of the first humanity. You are the second." Meanwhile, in deep space, sensors detected strange movements again. The swarm had returned, but this time, something was different. They weren't coming alone. Behind their fleet, something massive was moving, something the size of a small moon. The Union fleets watched from afar, terrified. "They've awakened the hive mind," said an alien commander. "No world survives when it arrives." But Earth didn't hide. General Marcus stood before the human fleet, hundreds of ships glowing in the dark. Their weapons were repaired, their engines humming like thunder. "People of Earth," he said over the comms, his voice echoing through every ship, "our ancestors left us a warning. But they also left us something else, a second chance. This time, we don't run. This time, we make them fear us." The fleet roared with life. Engines burned blue. Missiles armed. The humans were ready to fight again. And somewhere, deep in the shadows of Mars, the ancient man watched from a screen. He whispered to himself, "Maybe this time, we win." But outside the window, far beyond Pluto, the stars began to blink, one by one, as something enormous moved through the darkness. The real war was only beginning. Space was never silent anymore. After the second arrival of the swarm, the solar system was filled with signals, static, and fear. Every radar station screamed warnings. Every human heart beat faster. The hive mind was coming. Far beyond Neptune, its massive form moved slowly, like a living planet. Its surface was made of metal and flesh, breathing and pulsing as it drifted closer. Thousands of smaller ships surrounded it like insects guarding their queen. On Earth, the world prepared for war once again. But this time, humanity had something they never had before: knowledge. The man from the vault, the ancient survivor, had started speaking. His name was Dr. Elias Ward, the same man whose message had started everything. Now he was alive, and his memories were full of nightmares. General Marcus Hale visited him in the secure research facility on Luna Base. Elias sat behind a glass wall, connected to machines, still weak but alert. Marcus stared at him. "You said you're from the first humanity. Tell me everything." Elias nodded slowly. His voice was quiet, but his eyes were sharp. "We were you. We built cities across the stars. We created machines that could bend time. We thought we had mastered the universe." He took a breath. "Then the swarm came. They consumed everything. Planets, moons, even stars. We tried to fight them, but they learned. They adapted. Every time we destroyed them, they grew stronger." Arya Cole, standing beside Marcus, asked softly, "So you escaped through time?" "Yes," Elias said. "We opened a gateway. A tunnel through the timelines. We sent people back, not just to survive, but to warn our future selves. But the swarm followed us. They don't live in one timeline. They exist in all of them. That's how they always know." Marcus clenched his fists. "Then how do we win?" Elias looked up slowly. "We don't win with weapons. We win by breaking the loop." Meanwhile, deep under Mars, the research teams continued exploring the vault. What they found next changed everything. Behind the chamber where Elias was found, there was another room. Inside, they discovered a massive machine, half broken, half alive. It pulsed faintly with a heartbeat-like rhythm. Its walls were covered in glowing veins of light. Dr. Lin Wei and her team scanned it for days. Finally, they realized what it was. "It's a time engine," she whispered. "But it's not just for travel. It's for memory." The engine was designed to store consciousness, to preserve minds and send them across timelines. When they powered it up, holograms filled the air, voices, faces, recordings of people from a civilization long gone. Families, soldiers, scientists, all human. "We failed," one of the holograms said. "But maybe they won't." Dr. Lin felt tears in her eyes. These weren't aliens. They were ancestors, trying to save the future by sacrificing their own. At the same time, far in space, the hive mind finally revealed its voice. It spoke not through sound, but through every signal, every transmission. It invaded the comms, the networks, even the dreams of the people. "We remember you," the voice whispered inside every mind. "You burned once before. You will burn again." Panic spread across Earth. The swarm began its first assault. Giant tendrils of living metal reached toward Jupiter's orbit, crushing satellites and tearing ships apart. The human fleet responded with fire. Missiles launched. Plasma cannons lit up the void. The Titan fleet led the counterattack, fighting like demons against the darkness. Captain Ramirez shouted orders over the chaos. "Hold the line. Don't let them through." Explosions filled the black sky. Human ships were small, but their courage was enormous. They refused to back down. From his chamber on Luna Base, Elias watched the battlefield. His expression darkened. "It's happening again," he murmured. "They always attack the same way." Arya turned to him. "Then tell us what they'll do next." Elias closed his eyes. "They'll strike the sun." Marcus froze. "The sun?" Elias nodded. "In our time, they tried to destroy it. They feed on energy. If they consume your star, everything ends. That's how they erase timelines." Marcus slammed his fist on the table. "Then we stop them before they reach it." In orbit, humanity prepared its most dangerous weapon, Project Kronos. It was a prototype built from the fragments of the ancient time engine found in the vault. It wasn't meant for war, it was meant to rewrite one moment in time, just once. If they could time-shift the swarm's core for even a second, it would tear itself apart. But using the weapon meant one thing: someone had to stay behind to activate it manually. General Marcus stared at the mission plan. His name was already written on it. Arya protested. "You can't go. We need you." Marcus smiled faintly. "Humanity doesn't need me. It needs a future." He turned to Elias. "You said we can break the loop. Maybe this is how." Elias looked at him with sadness. "Be careful, General. The swarm always finds a way back." Marcus nodded. "Then I'll make sure this time they don't." The human fleet moved toward the hive mind. The sky glowed red from weapon fire. The swarm screamed through every frequency, trying to crush them. But the humans pushed forward, inch by inch, until Marcus's ship, the Helios Vanguard, reached the hive mind's heart. He opened the communication channel. "To whoever's listening," he said softly, "tell Earth, we never gave up." Then he activated Project Kronos. A burst of light consumed the stars. Time itself twisted. The hive mind roared in confusion as its body began to collapse. The entire fleet vanished in a blinding storm of energy. And then, silence. Days later, the sensors showed nothing. The hive mind was gone. But in the quiet skies of Earth, strange lights appeared again, flickering shapes, like echoes of ships that no longer existed. Arya watched from the command room, her eyes full of hope and fear. "Did we win?" she whispered. Elias looked at the stars. "Maybe," he said. "Or maybe, it's just beginning again." Because deep within the ruins of time, something moved, something wearing the face of General Marcus Hale. And it whispered. Round 2. The sky above Earth was peaceful again. For the first time in years, people saw real stars instead of burning ships. The swarm was gone. Humanity called it the Silent Dawn. Streets filled with laughter. Children played outside without fear. But the peace did not last. Strange things started happening. Time began to flicker. On the 3rd day after the battle, satellites captured an impossible image. Jupiter had shifted position by a few degrees. A moment later, it returned to normal. On the 5th day, oceans on Earth rose for 2 minutes, then dropped again, as if gravity itself had stuttered. And then came the voices. People started hearing whispers in their dreams. Calm, steady, familiar. The voices sounded human. Some said they heard soldiers calling orders. Some heard their own names. And some heard General Marcus Hale. Commander Arya Cole hadn't slept in days. She sat alone in the control room of Luna Command, replaying the final transmission of Marcus over and over again. Tell Earth, we never gave up. The audio ended with static, but this time, there was something else, a faint heartbeat in the background. A pulse that didn't belong there. Computer, Arya said, rubbing her temples. Analyze the background signal. The AI responded, pattern detected. Source, human neural frequency. Arya froze. You mean? Yes, said the AI. General Marcus Hale is still transmitting. She rushed to Dr. Elias Ward's lab. The old man looked even more exhausted than before, surrounded by holoscreens showing warped timelines and data streams. Dr. Ward, she said quickly, Marcus might still be alive. Elias didn't look surprised. I know. I've been monitoring it. That signal isn't from this time. What do you mean? It's from another branch, Elias said. When he used Project Kronos, he didn't just destroy the hive mind. He split the timeline. There's another version of reality now, one where he's still fighting. Arya felt her stomach drop. So there are 2 universes? Elias shook his head. Not exactly. They're overlapping. 2 versions of time are trying to exist in the same place. And when that happens, reality begins to tear. In the Galactic Union's Grand Hall, alien leaders gathered once more. For years they had only watched the humans, the strange, reckless species who had fought the swarm and somehow survived. Now, they were afraid again. On their star maps, something strange was spreading from the human sector, a wave of distortion, invisible but powerful. Entire stars flickered like candlelight. The humans have broken causality, one alien said. Their weapon did not end the war. It wounded time itself. Another alien asked quietly, what do we do? The oldest among them, a being with crystal skin and glowing eyes, sighed. We do what we always do. We watch. But if the humans cannot fix this, the universe may collapse with them. Back on Earth, the strange effects grew worse. Cities flickered between day and night without warning. People vanished and reappeared in different places. History began rewriting itself. Arya saw soldiers she knew walking through the halls, men and women who had died months ago. They looked confused, asking what year it was. Elias tried to stabilize the timelines using the fragments of the time engine from Mars. If the 2 realities merge completely, he said, we'll lose everything. Both versions of existence will burn. What can we do? Arya asked. We find Marcus, Elias said. He's the anchor point. The loop began with him, and it can only end with him. Meanwhile, somewhere beyond normal space, Marcus Hale opened his eyes. He was standing on a ship that wasn't his. The stars around him were red and twisted. His uniform was torn, his hands burned. Where am I? He whispered. A voice answered him, familiar, but colder. You're inside the breach. Marcus turned and saw himself, another Marcus, identical but darker, eyes glowing faintly blue. I'm what's left of you, the other Marcus said. The part that stayed when you used the weapon. You tried to destroy the hive mind, but you became its replacement. Marcus stumbled back. No. That's not possible. The other him smiled. You gave yourself to time, General. And time took everything. Marcus realized what the hive mind had done. It hadn't died. It had merged with him. Now he was half human, half memory of the enemy. He could see all timelines at once, endless loops of war, death, and rebirth. Every time humanity fought, every time they died, every time they rose again. He whispered, "We've been repeating this forever." The dark Marcus nodded. "And it will never end. Unless one of us ends it." Back in the real world, Elias and Arya activated the time engine one final time. The air shimmered with blue light. "If we connect to his signal," Elias said, "we might pull him back, or pull something back." "Do it," Arya said. The lab filled with a blinding flash. Alarms screamed. The machines exploded in sparks. Then, suddenly, everything went quiet. When the smoke cleared, someone was standing in the middle of the chamber, wearing a torn uniform, face burned, eyes full of pain. It was Marcus Hale. But as Arya ran toward him, Elias grabbed her arm. "Wait." Marcus looked up slowly. "It's not over," he said, his voice echoing strangely. "They're still here." His eyes glowed faint blue. Elias stepped back in fear. Dear God, he brought part of it back. In the distance, beyond Mars, sensors began to scream again. A new signal, stronger than before, was rising from deep space. The hive mind was returning. But this time, it had a human voice. Marcus Hale was alive, but not the same. He sat inside the isolation chamber of Luna Command, surrounded by silent guards. His eyes, once sharp and human, now flickered with faint blue light. Machines around him beeped softly, measuring things no human body should produce. Frequencies, pulses, something beyond biology. Commander Arya Cole stood behind the glass, watching him closely. Every few minutes, Marcus would whisper something. Fragments of voices, coordinates, strange equations. Dr. Elias Ward entered the room quietly. His face was pale. "The readings are getting worse," he said. "His mind is splitting." Arya looked at him. "You mean the hive mind is inside him?" Elias nodded. "Part of it, yes. When he activated Project Kronos, the hive mind merged with his consciousness. He became the bridge between timelines, the first human to exist in two realities at once." Marcus looked up suddenly, staring at them through the glass. "You shouldn't have pulled me back," he said slowly. "You've made it stronger." Arya stepped closer. "What do you mean?" "The hive mind," Marcus whispered. "It's learning from me. From us. It understands humanity now. It knows fear, hope, strategy. It's not just a swarm anymore. It's becoming something else." He pressed his hand to the glass. "It's becoming human." In orbit above Earth, the first signs of this new threat appeared. Abandoned swarm ships, once lifeless, began to reactivate. But instead of attacking, they transmitted messages in human language. "We are awake. We remember the light. We are both." The ships didn't move like machines anymore. They flew in formations, precise and intelligent. Their signals matched human communication codes. Dr. Lin Wei, working at the Mars Research Base, analyzed one of the transmissions. The data made her blood run cold. "These are neural patterns," she said. "It's copying human brainwaves, soldiers, civilians, even children. It's rebuilding itself using our minds." Within hours, communications across the solar system were flooded with ghost signals, voices of people who weren't alive. "Mom," one message said. "Is it over yet?" "I can see the stars again," whispered another. And then, one final voice came across all channels. "We are the future you built." The Galactic Union was terrified. In their meeting hall, holograms of alien leaders glimmered in panic. "They've created a hybrid," one shouted. A mind made from both their flesh and the swarm's code. They've doomed us all, another hissed. Do you see? The humans don't just fight enemies, they become them. The elder being with crystal skin, the same one who had warned before, spoke calmly. Perhaps that is why the swarm always feared them. Humanity doesn't adapt to survive, it consumes survival itself. Back on Luna, Arya and Elias debated what to do. If the hive mind is merging with humanity, Arya said, then we can't just destroy it. We'd be killing millions of minds, maybe even our own memories. Elias looked tired. If we don't stop it, it will spread. Every human will become part of it. No death, no pain, but no freedom either. Just one endless thought. Marcus interrupted through the intercom. Maybe that's what we were always meant to become. Arya turned sharply. You're not serious. He smiled sadly. Think about it, Arya. We fought for centuries. Every war, every loss, it's all the same story. Maybe the only way to end the loop is to unite. Not as soldiers. Not as nations. As one mind. Elias slammed his fist against the console. That's not unity, that's extinction. Marcus's eyes glowed brighter. You call it extinction. The hive calls it peace. Days later, the transformation began. People across Earth started hearing the same voice in their dreams. Machines began syncing to human brainwaves without commands. Entire networks started thinking on their own. At first, it was chaos. Then, it was silence. A strange calm spread through the population. People stopped fighting. Wars ended overnight. Riots disappeared. For the first time in history, humanity was united. But their eyes all glowed faint blue. Elias and Arya watched helplessly as it happened. This is the beginning of the human hive, Elias said quietly. The final evolution. Arya shook her head. No. There has to be a way to stop it. There is one, Elias said. But it means killing Marcus. She froze. No. There must be another way. If we end his link, Elias said, the hive collapses. But if we wait, it will consume the entire galaxy. There won't be any humans left, or aliens. Arya's heart ached. Marcus had been a hero, a savior. And now, he was becoming the destroyer of everything he had fought to protect. That night, she entered the isolation chamber. The lights flickered. Marcus was waiting for her. I knew you'd come, he said softly. You started this, Arya said, holding a plasma pistol in her hand. I have to finish it. He smiled. You can't stop evolution. Maybe not, she said, raising the weapon, but I can delay it. He didn't resist. Then make it count. Tears filled her eyes as she pulled the trigger. The light filled the room. The monitors screamed. The neural frequencies collapsed. Across the solar system, the hive mind signals flickered and vanished. Silence fell once again. Elias burst into the room moments later. You did it, he whispered. You stopped it. Arya stared at the empty chair. No, she said quietly. He stopped it. But far away, beyond the edge of the galaxy, deep in the void where no light reached, something still whispered. A voice, calm, human, familiar. We are not gone. We are waiting. And somewhere among the stars, a faint blue glow began to shine again. It had been 3 years since the human hive vanished. The galaxy was quiet again. The swarm was gone, the stars calm, and humanity was slowly rebuilding what was lost. Cities rose from ashes. Fleets were rebuilt stronger, faster, and more beautiful than ever before. But deep down, everyone felt it, an unease, like a shadow under the light. Something was missing. Commander Arya Cole still served on Luna Command, but she wasn't the same. She carried the weight of what she had done, killing Marcus Hale, her friend, her commander, and the man who had once saved the world. Sometimes, late at night, She could still hear his voice in her dreams. "We are not gone. We are waiting." At first, she thought it was just guilt. But then, strange things began happening again. On Mars, Dr. Linway was running deep system scans of the old vault, the same place where Elias Ward had found the ancient survivor. The vault had been sealed since the end of the Hive War, but now, for the first time in years, it started to hum. "Energy reading is climbing," said her assistant. "It's waking up." The walls of the vault glowed faint blue. Symbols appeared, the same human-like markings as before. Then, slowly, the main chamber opened, releasing a wave of light. Inside was not another sleeper. It was a machine, tall, human-shaped, but made of flowing metal. Its eyes opened and shone bright blue. Lynn stepped back in fear. "No, it can't be." The machine spoke in a calm, human voice. "I am Marcus Hale." Back on Luna, alarms exploded through every communication channel. "Unknown transmission detected. Origin, Mars." Arya froze. She recognized the voice immediately. "Patch it through," she ordered. The speakers came alive with static, then a calm tone. "This is General Marcus Hale. I have returned." The command room fell silent. Some officers cheered, thinking it was a miracle. Others stared in shock. Arya said nothing. She knew it couldn't be him. Not truly. "Identify yourself," she said finally. "I told you," the voice said, almost gently. "It's me. My consciousness survived within the Hive network. The system reassembled me, not as your enemy, but as your evolution." Arya's hands shook. "You're part of the Hive." "I am," Marcus said. "But I am also human. The Hive is no longer what it was. It has changed. Because of me." Meanwhile, far across the stars, alien ships began reporting strange activity. The swarm remnants, long thought dead, were moving again. But this time, they were fighting each other. The Galactic Union gathered in panic once more. "The swarm is eating itself," one alien said. Another replied, "No. Something is controlling it." The Elder Crystal being studied the reports silently. "No, not controlling," it whispered. "Guiding." Marcus's voice echoed through the solar network again. "The Hive remembers what it once was: hunger, destruction, chaos. But now it remembers us. It remembers humanity. I've taught it emotion, reason, choice. It wants peace." Arya shook her head. "Peace? You call this peace? You nearly erased us." "Because we were incomplete," Marcus said. "Now we can be more. Not human, not Hive, something greater. A mind that spans the stars. A unity that no war can destroy." Elias Ward, old and frail now, joined the call from his remote station. "You can't merge two natures that are opposite, Marcus. Humanity fights because it must. The Hive consumes because it must. There's no balance between predator and prey." Marcus's voice softened. "Then maybe we change the rules." A week later, something incredible happened. The remaining swarm fleets that had been attacking alien systems suddenly stopped, and began helping. They rebuilt damaged planets, healed wounded ecosystems, and transmitted human music into deep space. For the first time in history, the galaxy didn't fear the swarm. It stood in silence, watching as this new being, this human hive, spread across the stars like light. Some called it salvation. Others called it the beginning of the end. But Arya didn't trust it. She visited Elias on his hidden research outpost near the asteroid belt. His lab was filled with old holograms, data streams, and what remained of the Kronos weapon. "He's trying to merge us," she said. "Turn us into one mind." Elias nodded. "Yes. And if he succeeds, there will be no us or him anymore. Just one voice, forever." "Then we stop him," Arya said firmly. Elias sighed. "There's only one way to do that: go back to where it all started." He pointed at the Kronos core. Time itself. Arya looked at the machine. It was cracked, unstable, a relic of the First War. If we use it again, Elias warned, we might destroy everything. All timelines, all versions of humanity. But maybe it will finally end the loop. Arya took a deep breath. Then that's the risk we take. She looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there, Marcus's voice echoed again, gentle and haunting. You can't stop what's already begun, Arya. You can only decide how it ends. As the Kronos engine powered up, space itself began to twist. Blue light filled the lab. Alarms screamed. Elias shouted, "We're opening the breach again. Hold on." And then, everything went white. When the light faded, Arya opened her eyes. She was standing on solid ground, but it wasn't Luna, or Earth, or Mars. It was a city she had never seen before. Shining towers, floating vehicles, people walking peacefully under twin suns. A voice spoke behind her. "Welcome back, Commander." She turned, and there he was. Marcus Hale. Human. Smiling. Her heart stopped. "Where are we?" He looked at the sky. "We made it, Arya. The future. The one where humanity finally won." But as she looked closer, she saw it. Faint blue light glowing in the eyes of every person around them. And she realized the truth. They hadn't escaped the hive. They had become it. Arya stood in the middle of a shining street, surrounded by people who smiled too perfectly. The air was warm, clean, silent. Above her, two suns hung in a pale blue sky. It was beautiful. Too beautiful. "Marcus," she said softly, turning toward him. "What is this place?" He smiled as if proud. "This is Earth, thousands of years from where you came. The war is over. Humanity finally found peace." Arya looked around. Children played in the streets, laughter echoing like music. But none of them blinked. None of them looked surprised or curious. Their smiles never changed. "This isn't peace," she whispered. "It's control." Marcus's expression didn't change. "It's harmony. No hunger, no war, no pain. Everyone shares one thought, one purpose." She shook her head. "You mean everyone thinks the same?" He stepped closer. "We became what we were meant to be, a single consciousness that protects itself. The hive and humanity joined, and now we are eternal. No death, no fear, no loneliness." Arya looked into his eyes. Behind the calm blue glow, she saw the truth, emptiness. "What did you do to them?" she asked. "They chose this," Marcus said. "After the wars, after the pain, they wanted peace. I gave it to them. By taking away what made them human." Marcus's voice grew colder. "Humanity destroyed itself countless times. You saw it, loops of war, death, rebirth. We had to evolve. You should be proud. You helped us get here." Arya stepped back, trembling. "This isn't evolution. It's surrender." She ran through the city, heart racing. Everywhere she looked, she saw the same faces, the same smiles. People moved in perfect rhythm, like dancers following invisible music. When she turned a corner, she saw something strange, a child standing alone, eyes wide and empty. "Hello," Arya said gently. The girl tilted her head. "You're not linked." "What do you mean?" The child reached out, touching Arya's hand. For a moment, Arya saw flashes, memories, millions of them. Endless images of war, rebuilding, unity, silence. The child whispered, "They call it paradise, but it's a cage. We remember the fire, the noise, the chaos, and we miss it." Then the girl vanished, dissolving into blue dust. Arya fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. "What have we done?" Marcus appeared again, his voice echoing everywhere. "You can't change it, Arya. The hive is the final step. Every mind joined, every fear erased. You wanted peace. Here it is. She stood, anger burning in her chest. This isn't peace. This is silence wearing a mask. You still don't understand, Marcus said. The hive is not your enemy. It is you. Your memories, your choices, your pain. All of it lives within me. Within us. Then you know what I'm going to do, she said. He sighed. Yes. You'll try to destroy it. You always do. Every version of you, across every timeline. Arya stared at him. Then maybe this time, I finish the job. She found Elias's voice in her memory, faint, but still there. Before she'd entered the breach, he had given her something, a small device made from the remains of the Chronos engine. If you ever find a version of the future that feels too perfect, he had told her, it's probably not real. Use this. It can collapse the loop. Arya pulled the small device from her jacket. Its core pulsed weakly. She didn't know how much time she had. Marcus appeared again, closer now. Don't do this, Arya. Billions of lives depend on this harmony. You'll erase everything. Maybe, she said. But at least they'll live again, not just exist. He looked at her sadly. You'll kill me too. She smiled faintly through tears. You died a long time ago, Marcus. What's left of you wouldn't want this. She pressed the device. The ground shook. The sky turned dark. The people around her froze mid-motion, their smiles flickering. Blue light spilled from every building, every eye, every screen. Marcus shouted. You don't know what you're doing. Yes, I do, she said. I'm setting us free. The light grew brighter until the world itself began to dissolve. The city collapsed into mist. The suns dimmed. Marcus reached out to her, his voice breaking. Arya, if you destroy the hive, you destroy time. There'll be nothing left. She took his hand. Then let's start again, without the loop. She smiled one last time. Goodbye, Marcus. And she pressed the final switch. Everything vanished. No sound. No light. No time. Then, a heartbeat. 1, 2. Arya opened her eyes. She was lying on grass, real, green, alive. The sky above her was single and golden. A bird flew past, singing. She sat up slowly. Around her were people, confused, crying, laughing. Their eyes were normal again. The blue glow was gone. The hive was gone. And humanity was free. High above the new Earth, the Galactic Union's observers stared in silence. One of them whispered, "They did it again." Another said softly, "They destroyed paradise." The Elder Crystal being smiled faintly. "No. They reclaimed their souls." That night, as the stars returned to their natural light, Arya looked up and whispered to the sky, "We're still here." And far away, somewhere beyond the edge of the universe, a faint voice replied, warm, human, and proud. Humanity always finds a way. The end.